I'm sorry the rest of the band couldn't make it here. I apologize for that. They're still pretty broken up about St. Joy losing. Don't you think for ratings they just should have kept him on till the end? Like he might possibly win. Everyone would have tuned in on the final night. Anyway, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you here. We really appreciate you coming out. I especially like to thank the folks who sat right down front, because a lot of times at comedy shows people don't want to sit down front because they go, oh, the comedians are thick. But I'm not going to pick on anybody. Welcome to the front. Great to have you here. Well, what's your name? Erica. Let's give Erica a big round of applause for coming to That's it. Okay, I'm a substitute teacher during the day because I believe that rock stars should give back, and okay. I don't have a problem with people like Eminem or 50 Cent, but I have a problem when second graders come in singing some of the lyrics to those songs. I think that's a little bit too young for kids to be hearing that kind of music. They should probably wait to get in the hardcore stuff, at least, third grade or so. And I decided it really was my responsibility as a pop star to write a song that would be okay for kids to hear. So this is my kid's song. Always remember to say please and thank you when you're taking candy from a stranger. Always remember to do what your parents say. You can do whatever you want when they're not around. It only takes 13 digits to call India. Stick a fork in the microwave and set it to 30 minutes. If you draw on the living room wall with a blue crayon, it will give you the power to fly. There's lots of tasty things to drink under the sink. Why not go and give them a try? Old people are really easy to push over. Have you ever watched TV in the bathtub? It's fun. Spend some time visiting with your grandma and tell her the family's betting on when she's gonna die. Spend some time playing with your little brother and convince him he's got the power to stop a moving vehicle. Sneak up and scare Daddy while he's shaving. Tape record Mommy when she's yelling at you and play it back when she's got friends over. Please don't do anything that I've said in this song unless you really want to be cool. Thank you. There's some drink catastrophe going on here. Everybody okay? It wasn't strong enough. Woo! Gentlemen, she's the one to walk to her car. I really am a substitute teacher. That is a true story. I was teaching a group of 4th graders in Glendale how to write a paragraph, and I said I want you to write a paragraph about a vacation you've taken with your family. So I go, when you're done with it, bring it up to me and I'll proofread it by reading it out loud. So this kid finishes his paper about 30 minutes later, and it comes up to me and I go to read it out loud, and it goes, my trip to Las Vegas. I took a trip to Las Vegas with my family. It took us 4 hours to get there in the car. It was a very long and boring trip. All I did was sit in the back seat, listen to music, and play with myself. And I said, Michael, don't you mean you were playing by yourself? And he goes, well, what do you mean? And I go, well, I just mean there was nobody else in the back seat. You were there all alone. You were playing by yourself. And he goes, no, I meant I was touching my penis. All right, good job. Have a seat. That wasn't wrong. They're not my kids. My rule is they show up at 8. If no one's dead by 3, I've done my job, basically. I was driving from San Francisco to Los Angeles with my brother recently, and I got pulled over by a police officer. He said 90 plus, whatever that means, a crazy cop lingo. But he did that really stereotypical police officer thing where he walked up to the window and he put his arm against the side of it and he said, "So, what's the rush?" And being a comedian, I had to stop myself before I said, "Well, the body in the trunk was starting to smell, and we just had to get it home in the ground before." I didn't say that, but as we're pulling away, I lean over to my brother and I go, "This is what I was going to say." And my brother goes, "Oh, that would have been funny." But what I would have said is, "We're just trying to get home to your wife before you do, officer." My brother gets a lot more speeding tickets than I do, I just realized. Grocery store and I walk right in and throw the food on the floor, and the store manager comes up to me and he says, "I'm sorry son, you're gonna have to leave." And I said, "Screw you, Mr. Store Manager. Screw you. Screw you, Mr. Store Manager. You can't tell me what I can and can't do." Go down to the bank downtown and I walk right in and pull my pants right down, and the bank manager comes up to me and he says, "I'm sorry son, you're gonna have to leave." And I said, "Screw you, Mr. Bank Manager. Screw you. Screw you, Mr. Bank Manager. You can't tell me what I can and can't do." Late at night, I get out of bed and I go stand right next to my roommate's head, and he opens his eyes and he looks up at me and he says, "Get away from me, you sicko freak." And I said, "Screw you, Mr. My roommate. Screw you. Screw you, Mr. My roommate. You can't tell me what I can and can't do." Thank you very much.
Well done. All right. Grant, you ready to go? Okay. He does go. Now we're ready. All right, ladies and gentlemen. If I could have everyone's attention real quick. How about a big round of applause for our wait staff, ladies and gentlemen? Let's clap up there. They are working hard to take good care of you, ladies and gentlemen. If I could have everyone's attention, unfortunately, there's been a car towed.
What?
Yes, unfortunately, a car has been towed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Now, it happened down in Westwood, so I don't think it's going to worry anyone here. But while I have your attention, put your hands together, and once again, welcome Throwing Toaster!
Yes, I'm back. I'm sorry. I apologize. Thank you. Thank you. I know. Settle down. Security. I'm just going to play a few songs while they're counting the ballots. Thank you. Thank you. Get everyone to clap individually. It'll be fantastic. Thank you. Here we go. Slowly working our way around. This should take the whole time. That's fantastic. I told that story about getting pulled over by a police officer. I found out that when you're a comedian, you have to be careful what you say in certain situations because you're always trying to find the funny thing to say. I want to be a kind of superstar role model that the kids can look up to, so I figured the first thing I could do to do that is go get an STD test, and, you know, for the kids to look up to. And I didn't know where to go, but I listen to Loveline a lot, and they say go to Planned Parenthood, so I went online to Planned Parenthood, and I made an appointment for 9 o'clock Monday morning at Planned Parenthood, and that was like right when they opened. And let me tell you, 9 o'clock Monday morning at Planned Parenthood, right when they opened, there's some worried-looking people there. There's a lot of sweating and nail-biting. So I got some dates, is what I'm saying. But I didn't know this. When you go to get an STD test, there's not just one test. I thought there was one test, but there's not. There's different tests for different things. So I went up to the window and I said, yes, I'd like an STD test. And she says, which test would you like? And I said, well, what do you got? Because I'll take it. And she goes, well, would you like an HIV/AIDS test? And I said, yes. And she goes, okay, that'll be $48. And she said, would you like a herpes test? And I said, yes, I'd like a herpes test. She goes, all right, that'll be $18. She goes, would you like a chlamydia test? And I said, I'm here, let's do it. And she goes, okay, that's $18. Would you like a syphilis test? And I go, yeah, I want to get tested for everything. She goes, syphilis is very rare. I'd be very surprised if you had syphilis. I said, well, thank you. But you don't know me, and I would like a syphilis test. So she goes, all right. Syphilis test, $1. I said, $1? $1 for a syphilis test? And she goes, yeah. Syphilis test for everybody. Who wants them? I'm buying. Step up. They did not think that was funny. Sit down, please, sir. Here's your number. We'll call you. I just told you that story to basically say, ladies, I'm clean. I don't even have syphilis. I checked 20 times. I have trouble with the ladies. I know what, you have trouble with the ladies? Yeah, I don't know what it is. I was looking at my past 2 relationships to see where things went wrong, and I realized that with both of the girls I was dating, I went to a wedding with them, and that led to the downfall of the entire relationship. The first girl, I went to a wedding with her, and her friends were getting married, and they know that I make short films and stuff, and they said, hey, would you like to videotape our wedding? And I go, I'd love to. I think that'd be fantastic. So I got all this extra film and batteries and stuff, and the night before the wedding, they call me, and they go, you know, we hired some professional video guys. We don't need you to videotape the wedding. And I go, oh, all right. Well, you know what I'll do? I'll bring my camera anyway. Because what if something happens and the real guys miss it, and then I capture it, and then I'll just give them the tape, and they can edit it all together. And they were like, okay. So we get to the wedding, and there are 3 video guys, and these guys are awesome. They're like everywhere. They're like video ninjas. They're getting every shot and everything. And I was like, man, these guys are good. They're going to have footage of everything. But they're not going to have any footage of the video guys. So that became my job at the wedding. I just started following the video guys around wherever they went. And it was so great because during the ceremony, I was sitting there in the bleachers, whatever they're called in the church. And I don't know. So I'm videotaping the head video guy, and it was so hilarious because about 10 minutes into the ceremony, he realized what I was doing. So he's videotaping the bride and groom, but he keeps going like this. And I just stayed right on him, like a nice tight close shot of his head. And he started getting all red, and he was sweating and everything. And then at the end of the ceremony, when you're leaving the church, you know, they have like a receiving line so you can meet the cast. And so, I don't know what to say. So I just kind of stepped out of the receiving line, and I'm standing there watching people go through, and I suddenly realized that there's a video camera right here in my face. And I turn and look, and it's this video guy, and he's going, and I get out my camera, and I start taping him, and he's all, dude, what are you doing? And I go, nothing, I'm just having fun. Well, you know, you need somebody's permission in order to videotape them. And I said, oh, really? Well, when we got to the church today, you started videotaping us, and you didn't ask our permission. Well, it's different, because you're an invited guest. Besides, there's so many beautiful images for you to videotape. Why are you videotaping me? And I go, dude, would you relax? What am I going to do with the footage? He goes, yeah, what are you going to do with the footage? So if you go to www.angryvideoguy.com, it's .org. Anyway, that was the end of that relationship because my girlfriend said I caused a scene, whatever. The next girl I was dating, I went to a wedding with her, and it was even worse because she was in the wedding. She wasn't like the bride, because that would have been weird. But she was in the wedding, party. So at the reception, she sat at the head table with all the rest, and I just sat with these people I didn't know, and I was really bored. Until I realized that at every single place setting at this wedding, they had a little disposable camera. And now I understand 1 or 2 disposable cameras on every table, but these folks had one at every single place setting, and I think that was overkill. And here's the reason why. When the bride and groom went to go cut the cake, all 250 people were standing around them, and they all took a picture at the same time. It's like, what, you need a panoramic flip book of cutting the cake? I don't understand. You don't need that many pictures. So I said, not me. I'm going to take an entire roll, 36 exposures of photos that no one else is taking. So I took an entire roll of people's feet at the wedding. But I just didn't randomly take pictures of people's feet. I thought about it. When the bride and groom had their first dance, I took a picture of their feet. The mother of the bride took a picture of her feet. I had a great time finding all these feet shots. And then at the very end of the wedding, I turned in my camera, went home. About 2 weeks later, my girlfriend calls me. Did you take an entire roll of photos of people's feet at the wedding? And I said, yes, I did. And I thought that would be funny. I said, it's not funny. My brother and sister-in-law are furious. They want $20 for film developing. I said, I'm not going to pay $20 for film development. She goes, if you want this relationship to continue, you're going to pay $20. So I said, fine, I'll pay the $20. But I want the photos. And I have them here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to see them.
Yes, I do.
All right. These are, where's the... They're fantastic. They're really good. They're really... So I was doing this show at Cal State Long Beach, and one of the students comes up to me afterwards and goes, did you really take photos? I think she got your drink. So this guy comes up and goes, did you really take those photos at the wedding? And I go, yeah. He goes, can I see them? And he's flipping through them and he goes, this was my cousin's wedding. And I said, well, don't tell him that I'm doing it on stage, please. Because I never paid the $20. This is a song I wrote for that girl. She didn't get the $20, but she got the song. I figure that's nice, right? Our love is like a puppy dog, one that's just been spayed or neutered. We feel sad and we feel betrayed, and our genitals hurt. Our love is like the winter snow that surrounded the Donner Party. They were trapped and the snow began to mock them as they were forced to eat each other. Our love is like this because it's not very good. When people look at our love, they can't look away. It's like a car accident you see on the freeway. Our love is like this little love song, pretty but pretty simple. The longer it goes, the more annoying it gets, and it's best when it's over. Our love is like this because it's not very good. Thank you very much. For the lovers. Is anybody here in love? Okay, great. You know when you first fall in love, like that first period of being in love where you're just like, yeah! You know, like that first week or 5 minutes of being in love where everything is just fantastic. Whenever I feel that way, I always feel like I will now write every love song in the entire world. And this is the song I wrote during that last, love feeling. Baby, for you, I will climb up Mount Everest, stick a flag right on top. Baby, for you, I would swim across the English Channel by myself non-stop. I do for you. And I'll admit that none of them are new. They've all been done by other men, it's true. But baby, so have you. Thank you very much. For the lovers. That's on my new CD I have available out in the lobby if you'd like to get that. It's only $10. I'm hoping to sell at least 80 tonight because rent's due tomorrow, so if you could please. I'm also on MySpace, myspace.com/throwingtoasters. I love getting that out at a big show, and then I run right home and log on, and no friends. Do you and me again tonight, Tom? Because of the Rock and Roll Union, I have to do a power ballad. It's required. But we can't, because of the fire things, we can't hold up lighters in here. There's a rule against it. But if you have a cell phone, you can take that out, push buttons on that, and hold that up. That'll be just as good. Or not, it's okay, really. We should see it from the stage. She's like finding an onion ring in your French fries. She's like opening a box of cereal and finding the prize right on top. And she's like, ooh, that's a fancy one. Popping bubble wrap. And she's like going to the bathroom and taking the perfect book along with you so you don't get bored. She's like a lot of things that I like. And I think I see it. I like her a lot. And I want to date her. It's the sweetest light of all. But she's already got a girlfriend. Thank you very much. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. I'm going to do one more song here and I'll leave you fine folks alone. Again, I have CDs available and mailing list, you can try and get on all that. Thank you all so much for coming to the show. We know that you have a choice when it comes to live entertainment, and we're glad that you have chosen Uncle Clyde's Comedy Contest. Especially like to thank Erica for sitting right down front. Let's give Erica a big round of applause. Did you have fun? All right, do one more song, leave you fine folks alone. The clock reads 3:27 and I'm shaking in the night. My sweat makes the sheets like skin, and I know I lost the fight. Now's the time I know when you and I can be alone. I can hear the sleep in your voice as you pick up the telephone. Are you alone? Erica, what you got on? Erica, don't you know that you belong to me? You're all mine, Erica, for all time, Erica, and it's only a matter of time until you see. A man came by today, he had some papers from a judge. Don't you know that there's no court in the world that can ever understand our love? And there's no security guard big enough, no matter how hard he tried, that can ever prevent me from getting right there by your side. Do you hear me? Erica, don't need to fear me. Erica, don't you know I'd never let you come to any harm. I'm obsessed. Erica, alright, I'm a mess. Erica, but you've got to admit that's part of my charm. Oh. You're mine, can't you tell? And if I can't have you today, well then I'll have you in hell! Oh, Erica! Oh, Erica! Oh, Whose CD is available? Look at me.